Hey, what's up? Nathan Davis here. So, one of the hardest things to do in life, I feel, is just to kind of wrap your head around what's happening. And there is this major aspect to life that I feel like a lot of people don't really know about, or if they have heard about it, they refuse to acknowledge that it's actually real. And what I'm talking about is the spiritual side of life. And I don't mean the spiritual side like going to church every Sunday and singing gospel songs. I'm talking about there is another entire reality beyond this physical reality. You may have heard there's duality in all things, like most importantly good and evil, like one can't exist without the other, day and night, hot and cold, etc. There is a physical reality and there's a spiritual reality. And we go back to the spiritual reality every single night. It's probably where we came from before we were born and where we're going to go back to after we die. And if you can manage to pay attention in your dreams, you can experience this spiritual reality and you can get messages from it. It can tell you things, even throughout your regular waking day. And that's what is so cool to me. Okay, let me give you a few examples. Alright, I was dreaming and I recognized I was in a dream. This was a few years ago. And it's the coolest feeling ever, really, when you recognize that you're in a dream and you're like, whoa, oh my gosh, like, I'm here in this place. There are no limits to what I can do. It's really cool. I mean, you can just take off and fly, walk through walls. It is so intense. So I'm walking around and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm just kind of exploring what's going on. And an old friend of mine, someone whom I shared a very strong spiritual connection with, he approached me and we were like, hey, what's up? You know, I hadn't seen you in forever. And we take off and start exploring. We wound up in a place that looked exactly like our college town where we met. And so we're running around. He takes me into a room and he shows me a video of myself from like several years back. And it was so crazy to see this video of myself. Like, back when he knew me, I was a completely different person. And I didn't even recognize how much I changed until he showed me that video. I don't really remember like all the details of it, but it was just like me just being myself, you know, for all intents and purposes. And it was just like, whoa, that's really intense. And then we went out and we started flying around the town, and we landed on top of this smokestack, whatever you want to call it. It's a very iconic site down in Valdosta State. We flew to the top of that, and then I flew on top of this other building, and there was a flat roof, and I saw these kids. They had milk jugs, and they were jumping off of the roof and just landing on the milk jugs just for fun. It was crazy because you wouldn't see this in real life because that would really hurt. And I heard Jonah Hill's voice before this happened. I was flying around and I heard Jonah Hill, the actor. He said, he's having a relevant time. And when I heard that, it really blew my mind because I felt like, you know, I had my full awareness about me and I was doing things that applied to my life. So I felt like what he said was really relevant to the situation that was going on. And it really just blew my mind when I heard it. And so, yeah, I needed to tell you about Jonah Hill. And the kids jumping off of the roof with the milk jug. And my friend, he tossed me a milk jug, like, hey, go for it, you know. And I was kind of nervous about this. I was like, you know, jumping off the roof, I mean, I guess I'm not going to get hurt or anything, but still, one milk jug, I don't know if that's enough cushion for me, you know. I mean, you can't feel pain in this place, but it still made me nervous. And he was like, okay, yeah, I'll throw you another one. And just go for it. And so I start going to run off the roof, and he throws the milk jug, but it's just out of my reach. Just out of my reach. So I was pretty much forced to jump off the roof with the one milk jug. And, but I did, and it was fun. I didn't get hurt or anything. And, okay, so then I woke up shortly after that. And later I found myself on Jonah Hill's Twitter page. And like his latest tweet was a video about this thing called galloning. And it's about these kids who go into the grocery store and they grab a gallon of milk and just toss it on the ground, or I don't know. In essence, they're just having fun with a milk jug. And that was on Jonah Hill's Twitter page. So that just absolutely blew my mind. That's probably like the most major example of like the spiritual connecting with the physical, and it's not just all in my head. Another example, I had a dream that I got sand in my mouth, and it was gross. And I woke up, and then I'm scrolling through Facebook, and then I see a picture of a kid putting sand in his mouth. And the caption was like, he only did that once. And that was really crazy. And I can't tell you how many times, like, I've seen something in a dream, and then I'll see the same essence of the thing happen throughout the day. Another example, okay, this one's pretty gruesome. Yeah, sometimes you don't see very nice things, but yeah, I don't know, duality, good, bad, you just have to take it all in stride. But I saw my cousin in my dream. She was pregnant, and she ended up cutting the baby out of her tummy with a pair of scissors. I know. And later, after I woke up, I heard that she had her baby and it was a cesarean section. So, whoa, really intense. So, there's definitely more to dreams than you might think, so just pay attention to them, and you will be blown away. You will be blown away. And you can even get messages throughout your waking life without even having anything to do with a dream the night before. A good example, I've never had a good experience inside of a 7-Eleven. Just, I don't know. 7 plus 11 is 18. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 666. I don't know. That's how I rationalized it before, but I just never had a good experience inside of 7-Eleven. I don't know why, weird. But the second happiest day of my life, the day I moved out of my mom's house, it just so happened to fall on November 7th, 11/7. I remember looking at that like, whoa, that was backwards. So like good and bad. And the happiest day of my life, the day I married my cutie Jenna, ended up being November 9th, a year later. And I immediately noticed, 11/9, it's like 9/11 backwards. You know, like the worst day ever and then the best day ever. And later, after we got home, we were watching Key and Peele, and we had already made the connection between the 9/11 backwards and all, and our wedding day. And there was a skit about the doctor, and they were doing Yo Mama jokes. And the room number that they were in was 119, but they were inside the room, so the way it appeared, it looked like 9/11 backwards, but it was 11/9. And that episode went off, and then the very next episode, there was this rapper, this rapper, he was talking about how he killed somebody, and it was like rap confessions, and he said, and by the way, it was November 9th. And I was just like, whoa, did you hear that? Did you see that? So it was like back to back. Two things that you wouldn't think are related, but they have spiritual significance. You see? And it's just really cool how things like that, just two random, seemingly unconnected things, just happen to play back to back, and it's like, whoa, that's a really strong spiritual conviction. So anyway, just wanted to bring that to your attention, and so maybe now you can pay attention and start having some fun too. Thank you.